Razaban here for ifltv, proudly sponsored by Everlast. With me, finally, after weeks and weeks of chasing, my man, Joseph Parker. Joe, where have you been hiding?
Where have I been hiding? I had that fight in New Zealand, which was good. We got the win. And then I've been pretty busy with the family and just organizing this new camp that I'm involved with now. So I've been, just keeping my head down and getting things sorted out. But now it's everything's at a good flow, and now we can finally catch up.
I was going to say, obviously, congratulations on the victory, because I know there was a bit of rivalry between yourselves and Junior Far from the amateur days. The fight was scheduled, I think, in November, December last year. It got delayed, so it broke your camp up. But when you look back at the performance, where do you think you did well and you kind of didn't do well?
Maybe just going out and trying too much, or trying to get a good win in good fashion. And I think maybe if I overtried and things didn't flow as well as I thought it should have, and it wasn't the performance that I thought I could put on. So even though it's good to get a win, but when I look back and sort of assess the fight, it wasn't really, I don't know, it wasn't my best work, not even close. So it just shows that I still have a lot to work on and a lot to improve on.
Do you feel like, I know you were out of the ring for a period, quite a long time. Do you feel like that didn't help either?
Yeah, listen, I have no excuses. I was out of the ring for over a year, and Junior Far has been out of the ring for a while too. So, it's a lot better when you're active and keeping busy and having fight after fight after fight. But I had no excuse. He was out of the ring longer than I was. So, and I think he had health issues. I took care of my elbows, but we had no excuse. We're both fit and ready on the night.
What do you kind of make of his tactics? Almost like Klitschko, where he kind of jab, grab, jab, grab. Was that kind of another factor that was putting you off because you couldn't get into rhythm, and once you got into range, he grabbed you straight away?
Yeah, it was listen, he has a good team behind him, and that was probably the game plan they put in place, to try and deflect what I was trying to do and what I was trying to achieve, going in there front combinations, and every time I tried to throw something, he hold on. So and he came back with punch of his own. So it wasn't even close to being an exciting fight, but I'm just happy to walk away with the win.
Was it good to obviously fight in front of your home fans in New Zealand, because it seemed very, very loud in there?
Oh, listen, there's no other feeling like fighting in front of your home crowd when there's family, there's friends, there's supporters, and we were very fortunate and blessed to be able to do that, because around the world we haven't really seen much of that kind of stuff happening, with crowds. So it's always great to fight in front of a home crowd. I'm not sure with this next fight I have, I'm not sure what the setup is, whether it's behind closed doors or if it's similar to what I've already seen happening here in the UK. But whatever it is, I'm looking forward to the next one.
Obviously, the big news coming out after your fight, Joe, was obviously your long-term relationship as a fighter trainer with Kevin has sadly come to an end. If you want to just elaborate on kind of why you thought it was the right time for you to kind of move on. Obviously, I know you left on good terms as well.
Yeah, we left on good terms, and Kevin's very supportive of. We support each other and what we're going to want to do in the future, and we had a great relationship. We had a great ride in boxing. Pretty much 8 years. We achieved a lot. Became world champion. Traveled all around the world. Fought big names. I fought a lot in New Zealand. So and Kevin's not just a trainer. He's more like it's like family. You know what I mean? So it was one of the hardest decisions I ever had to make. But we both finished on good terms, and we both agreed that it's good to try something else. And I don't want to be that fighter that looks back and go, oh, what if I did this, or what if I did that, what if I changed this? You know what I mean? So it was we came off a good win, getting the win with Junior Far, and then we parted ways. And now he's busy as well. He's busy in Vegas training other fighters. And then I thought to myself, now it's time for me to see who can train me.
Why do you feel like now was the right time?
Just after that performance, I know it's like I said, it's no one's fault, but I wasn't really excited to be, I don't know, I guess going back to Vegas. I wasn't excited. I didn't really have the excitement that you should have for boxing, and I thought, I wasn't really yeah, I just don't want to go back to Vegas. And I thought to myself I was going to be based in New Zealand. But then after talking to Tyson and getting his advice and suggestion on who I should train with, um, that sort of changed my approach a lot faster, joining with Andy.
Was when you left, Kevin, did you, without speaking to Tyson, did you ever think that you were going to come to the UK? I know you love coming here. I know you fought Hughie Fury, Anthony Joshua, Dillian White, and you've seen how boxing is in the UK. Was that another factor in your mind, thinking that boxing is like loved by the fans so much that you want to be just part of it permanently almost?
I I had no plans whatsoever um, before the split with Kevin. There were a lot of coaches that reached out afterwards and wanted to do some training, but I'm happy that I'm here in the UK because obviously this is where my next fight will be. But the boxing here is massive, and the fans and supporters get behind the fighters and also get behind me. I've made some good, some great supporters here in the UK. So it's good to be based here, and I don't have to be traveling all around. With the fights on the 1st of May, I'll be here and I'll be ready.
So you obviously chose Andy. How did those first kind of sessions go? Did you kind of gel straight away? Was there chemistry immediately?
There was, yeah, we gel straight away. I think I'm quite easy to sort of gel with, but then again, Andy's a cool and calm customer, and then he's also very experienced in boxing with his own career, trained with Emmanuel Stewart and a few other trainers, and he's just relaxed and calm. But when it's time to train in the gym, he knows exactly what we need to do.
What about yourself though? Have you noticed changes in your boxing? Has Andy taught you new things that you didn't know before almost?
Andy was quite happy with what I already had, and I think it's about just building on it, building on what I already have and not trying to change too much because we don't have a lot of time before this next fight. We weren't given 12 weeks or 15 weeks to get used to each other. It's all about he's just tightening up a few things, showing me a few things, and I feel it has changed my style a bit, and we're seeing that every day in the ring with the pads, and we're seeing that when we do sparring, which we've just started. So we're seeing a few things here and there, and hopefully with the next 3 or 4 weeks that we have before the fight, we can keep adjusting and changing and adding a few things.
What about the climate, Joe? Like New Zealand's a very hot, warm place. You're in a desert in Las Vegas. You come to cold England. How does that help, or does it not help? Does your body just cope with the dramatic weather change?
I think as a fighter, you just got to adjust, and you just got to adapt to the climate wherever you are, whatever situation you're in. You just got to adjust and adapt. Everything's still the same in terms of you got a bed to sleep in, you got food to eat for training, and you got a gym that you're going to go to every day. So as a fighter, everything's still very much the same. The only thing is different country, different weather, but hey, you can just adjust and adapt, I guess.
We've seen pictures on Instagram with yourself running with Tyson Fury, Tommy Fury, kind of the whole camp. But how much involved is Tyson in this camp? I.e., is there any sparring with him, or any strength and conditioning, or weights, or anything like that, or is it just he's just in the background doing his own thing, and you're just working with Andy?
Yeah, it's obviously we're here in Morecambe where Tyson's gym is, and it was a good decision because it's a lot better to get the sparring here in the UK, and staying in one of the houses that he organised for us, so we're very grateful. But the camp that we have, Andy's in control of the camp, and Andy's he's figuring out which sparring partners we need. We always get advice from Tyson as he also lives in the UK and knows guys that'll be good for sparring, but it's when our schedule sort of matches in terms of going for a run at the same time and doing this at the same time, do we train together. But we're here doing our camp, and we're very grateful to be here. It's a good place to be, training alongside the champ.
So the name that everybody knows is Derek Chisora. May 1st, that's going to take place here in the UK. Obviously, this fight should have taken place about 18 months, 2 years ago, due to the unfortunate situation. It got cancelled. I know you even did a kind of a gloves are off as well in Vegas that Derek has mentioned. But do you believe this is kind of the right fight at the right time for you in your career right now?
I think it's the right fight at the right time. Derek's still a big name. and he's been in the game for a long time, very experienced. He's come off a loss and some good wins recent times, and it wasn't really a bad win. He didn't get knocked down his last fight. He gave a good account of himself, pressure, throwing a lot of punches, and he never gave up. So I think it's a good fight. He's still got a lot to give, Derek, and he's still, he always tends to pull one out of the bag, but I don't think he can do it for this fight.
What do you make of his performance with Usyk?
I thought he put up a good performance. I thought he again, pressure, threw a lot of punches, combinations, never gave up. He got tagged a few times, but he never gave up. He always fought. He fought until the very end.
He's constantly tweeting. He's constantly putting these pictures of chickens out, making these posters. I know he FaceTimed you like 2 a.m. New Zealand time, but you eventually got him back on FaceTime. But is that him just trying to put you off a bit? Is that Derek being Derek?
I think it's just Derek being Derek. He's probably trying to put me off, and he's probably trying to play these games. But as long as I know what I do, which is focus on training, getting in shape, sparring, getting fit, staying strong, I don't really care what he does outside of the ring. But when you're in the ring, that's a different story.
Does it help that obviously Tyson has fought him twice before, so he can give you a great insight into kind of the way Derek is when you're in the ring?
Yeah, it's good he's fought him twice and beat him twice, so it's good to pick his brains. But I know that them two, they're good friends as well, so it's just about he gives advice when he can, and he gives advice when he sees things that he thinks we should be doing. He always gives us advice when he can, but ultimately, it's great just to be here with Andy. We're getting our work done, and then just getting advice and working along a team that's very positive and good energy.
Joe, have you got one eye on the WBO situation? We know Usyk Joyce is kind of supposed to be called for the interim title, but obviously they're holding out and waiting for whether Fury Joshua takes place, because if that fight doesn't take place in the summer, we know the WBO could potentially strip Anthony Joshua. I know they don't want to be stripped, but if they want to have that fight, it has to happen in the summer, according to the WBO. So have you got one eye on that situation, on what happens there, and then make your next move?
Yeah, like I think you're quite, as a heavyweight, you're aware of what's happening around you. The bouts being held up, the fights are being made, what's being talked about. So you're always going to have your eye on everything that's happening. All the fighters, the situation, the bouts, everything. But I guess with the bouts being held up, and those with the top guys at the moment, I just got to focus on Derek in front of me, and then after that, get involved with some more better and bigger fights.
Has Fury spoken to you at all about the AJ fight? We know he really, really wants to fight. We know Anthony Joshua wants to fight, but there's obviously other things that need to be sorted out yet. But has he mentioned anything about the fight? Is it going to happen? As he said, if it doesn't happen, then he won't wait till the end of the year to fight again. He wants to fight now. Has he mentioned anything?
The only thing he said is that he's still waiting for them to make the fight happen. So, and I'm just like, okay, hopefully you guys can make it happen. It'll be a great fight, and it's a fight that everyone wants to see. So, like everyone else, I'm just here going, hopefully it gets done.
Get on the undercard.
Yeah, listen, they have to beat Derek first, and then I can have many options.
Joe, I know you were in the UK last week. Obviously, Dillian Whyte obviously avenged his loss to Alexander Povetkin with a devastating stoppage win. What did you make of Dillian's performance?
I thought Dillian came out strong and fired from the start, and it's good to get the revenge, from the loss that he got with Povetkin. And he put on a good performance, and he was very busy, and then he got him out of there in style. So I think it was a great win for him.
Is that a fight that you still want?
Still want it. No point though if I don't get past the next guy. But that's the fight that I would love to fight him again. Hopefully get past Derek, and then I can, if he doesn't have a fight, line up something again.
Joe, what is kind of your plan? Let's say you get past Derek. Do you go away for a couple of weeks, see the family, see the kids, come back to the UK and start working before you get a fight announced, so you can spend more time with Andy? You're not getting any younger, in the nicest way possible, even though you look young, right? But what is the strategy and the plan?
What's everything sort of relies on the fight May 1. get the win, and then stay on for a bit to see if we can line up another fight or lock in another one, as soon as possible, and then figure out whether I should fly home or just stay here and carry on training. I mean, it's the hardest part about flying is the jet lag. So if I can lock something else in, I'll just go back to Ireland and start training again with Andy.
Bring the family across there permanently.
Bring the family here, have some fun, long holiday.
Just want to get your thoughts on Everlast. Obviously, have been involved in boxing as far as I can remember. I remember Muhammad Ali used to wear Everlast gloves. They've recently made a pledge to sign up to 52 fighters this year. They already have the likes of Conor Benn, Joshua Buatsi, signed recently Natasha Jonas, Sandy Ryan, Chantel Cameron, a few fighters that they've already signed. But how big and powerful is this for boxing that an organization like Everlast are coming on board saying, we are going to help 52 fighters, we will help them and grow them as well?
It's incredible to have a brand like Everlast come into boxing and actually and do that for 52 fighters. That's huge, right? Everlast has been part of the game for a long time, and for them to start backing fighters, what are they going to do? Sign up fighters and back them and help them? That is awesome. I think we should have more brands doing that, because there's there's a lot of great fighters out there. We just need to give them the the option and just give them the chance to make it on a big stage. And I guess with Everlast, I think they're going to be very helpful.
Joe, I'll end on this. May 1st is not far away now. 3.5 weeks away. What happens on the night? And if you've got a message for Del Boy Derek Chisora?
What happens on the night? I back myself to win all the time. I'm not sure how I'm going to win, but if I go out there and have fun, let my hands go, do the job, it's finish off with a good victory, and then just relax a bit and enjoy. Del Boy, I'll see you soon. I know you've been talking a whole lot of crap, and we're going to see who the chicken is.
ifltv, thank you very much.
Thank you.